So hello and welcome back to the Big Lad Podcast. Today is episode 15 and I'm joined with Emily.
Hello.
Welcome. How's things?
It's good. I'm good. Enjoying the bank holiday, or trying to anyway. No, it's a bit cloudier today, but thank you for having me. I'm really excited
No
to
problem.
chat about all things.
Yeah. The weather's not too good this weekend. It's actually chucking it down as we speak here. But it's just nice to have a bit more normality again, isn't it? Being able to get
100%. I know, and it's been so sunny like previous weekends, and it's just been the energy when you see people out and like being around in the shops has been so nice. And even being in the gym, everyone's just buzzing to be there, which is just so nice. So it's definitely getting everyone's mojo's back.
Yeah, my gym's been absolutely packed for about 2 weeks.
Bet.
Every now and again, like I've not been bothering taking my camera with me because I've been training alone recently, and there's just no room to actually put my camera anywhere to film anything.
Yeah.
So I've literally got like no workout footage since I've been back in the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm having to try and like recycle old things to like repurpose them as content. I got a YouTube video the other day though. I went to a bigger gym that's close by. That went up yesterday. Nice. But yeah, it's not ideal at the moment for getting content. And there's been a few times. Difficult. Like there's been a few times where I've gone in and it's been quiet and I'm like, I should have just brought my camera in case. Like
always the way. If you don't take it, you then need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I suppose you go in the evenings. Do you go in the evenings?
Yeah.
With work?
Yeah. I've been sort of mixing it up, either going straight after work or going about 8 o'clock, and it's not really made a difference, to be quite honest.
Yeah. But no, I tend to go in the day, ideally in the morning if I can get it done and out the way. But yeah, some evenings, like I work one of the evenings and it's jammed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But it's nice. It's nice to see.
I assume when the weather gets a bit nicer, it'll get quieter again when people are out in the beer gardens. So make the most of it then.
It's like that January period, and then by February it's a bit quieter.
Yeah, so people like join and then realise they don't really fancy going, and you never see them again until the January after.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, on a rejoin offer.
Yeah, literally. But anyway, the topic that we are speaking about today is sort of how Emily got into fitness and sort of how it started and how it's got to where it is today. So first question is, how did you actually get started in fitness and go into the gym? Like where did it start?
Going back ages ago when I was in like year 9. So I've been out of school 6 years. So I was like 8 years ago, I joined the gym purely to lose like the puppy fat. And I went with my friends and we walked from school to the gym and back home. And obviously that was just like we didn't really know what we were doing in terms of the gym, I guess. Like I had my induction and just basically followed that. But so I did that and lost like a fair bit of weight, sort of gained a bit more confidence coming out of school, going into college. And obviously when I went, I'd always go, put my headphones in, carry on, work as hard as possible. Whereas my friends would all like chat and like being so young, you sort of like mess around a bit, don't really know what's going on. Whereas now sort of I then went to college. I did study dance professionally at college, then went on to uni, studied dance at uni, and then sort of joined the gym again, different gym. Towards where my uni was in Staines, and just basically fell in love with it. And I'm obviously doing dance. I'm so passionate about people looking after their bodies. You have to be able to, because you're dancing day in, day out in the studio from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, depending on obviously the days. And I had a lot of friends who didn't look after themselves, or they'd struggle with shin splints, or they'd be really tight and then they'd sort of hurt something. And then I'd then think, did you roll out? Did you sort of massage your calves, or did you do this, or did you that? And then it's kind of stemmed on from there. And then I became really passionate about looking after the muscles. You've got strong muscles, your joints are slightly more protected. Okay, you can never prevent an injury completely. Like if you're going to fall over, you're going to fall over. You never know when that's going to happen, which I'm sure you understand from football.
Yep, I've had my fair few injuries.
But obviously, the stronger you are, then you're just a little bit more protected, and obviously your muscle acts as like a nice kind sponge to your joints. So it kind of then stemmed from there. Then went to the gym from the start of uni, literally every week. Then obviously got into it that way, really. And that was how I just fell in love with the gym, and then have been going non-stop for like the past 4 years completely. So yeah, that's how I got into the gym and sort of getting into a fitness. And I've always been really active. Like I was always dancing all week, every weekend, non-stop, doing tap, jazz, ballet, modern. The list is endless. Like dancing, singing, and just
So you're the last person we want to come up to on a dance floor, though, when it reopens.
Oh, I don't know about that. When I've got a drink in me, it's slightly different. But yeah, so it's quite like it stemmed from that, and that was how I completely, and now I can't get away from it.
So you say when you first started, you didn't really have a plan or an idea of what you were doing. When you went back, did you have any further idea, or did you get a PT? Or
I didn't get a PT. I obviously followed. So that was when I started my fitness account, because obviously we've been following each other for years, which is so strange. We sort of created our accounts at similar times. And it was just kind of following from who was like the Gymshark athletes, then sort of seeing what their workout was, and then sort of seeing people from YouTube, and just kind of stemmed from there, really. Looking back at my first videos from when I properly went back 4 years ago, compared to now, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
So God knows what I was like back in year 8 or year 9. But yeah, so, and then just kind of built up. I got chatting to the PTs, then I'd follow their content from that particular gym that I went to. Then at the gym that I went to when I came back home in like say holidays and things, I'd follow those PTs, see their content, and it's kind of just broadened out from there. Like I've always tried to chat to the PTs coming through the door to find out more information, and then just gradually, yeah.
So you said the first goal that you had was to get rid of a bit of puppy fat. Was what was
when I was really young.
What sort of stemmed that? Was it seeing things on Instagram? Well, was Instagram even around then? I don't know.
No,
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was.
But like, was it sort
That's
of
a strange feeling.
like any sort of pressures, or what was it that made you want to start in the
I don't know.
place?
I suppose at the time I didn't really realise I was overweight until I looked back at pictures.
Right.
And then I just kind of went sort of not with the aim of like I want to lose weight, because obviously I was so young I didn't really understand any of that. Yeah. But I knew sort of being active, and then actually going from the shape I was in like year 8 and year 9. Obviously I went through, obviously that's like puberty age as well, so you go through that. Then looking back when I left in year 11, obviously I was just a lot smaller. So obviously looking back now, it was just getting rid of my childhood, like obviously you just eat whatever, and you don't understand anything. In year 7, year 8, you've not got a clue. And obviously in the canteen, they never did the best of food. Like it would be brownies and all of the snacks, chips, pizzas, and obviously that's what we'd eat at school. So in secondary school anyway. So yeah, it's not like I don't know whether I had a goal. I think I just kind of went to the gym, really enjoyed it, loved sort of working out, and obviously my core got a lot stronger because I did a lot of active stuff, obviously not really knowing what it was. But in terms of my dancing as well, we have to have a strong core. We have to hold ourselves, and obviously that all comes into it as well. But yeah, and then obviously coming out in like 4 years ago when I went properly back to the gym, it was more about sort of building that strength and sort of feeling good. Obviously you always, aesthetic goals I think are a funny one to work with. I now would never ever say to someone, don't work for the aesthetic, work for the performance, the strength, the enjoyment of doing whatever exercise you choose to do. And obviously because I've come from loving dancing to then falling in love with the gym, like I didn't just go to the gym because I wanted to look a certain way. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I go off on a massive tangent.
So before you joined the gym, were you involved in any sorts of sports when you were a kid? And what was it that made you choose to go to the gym in the first place? like in year 9? Like, why was it not something else? Why was it the gym?
I mean, I can't. Well, let's start with PE at school. I absolutely loved it, but I was absolutely rubbish. Like, I'm such a team player. I'm such a, yeah, like, let's do this. Everyone's working hard. But I was so that person to get hit with a ball in the face because I couldn't really catch it.
Right.
So obviously I just did my dancing, even at school. Like, I did dance at GCSE, and that was my sport. I did that at the weekend outside of school. I did do football a little bit when I was really young, but we won't go there because I was terrible. And it just kind of took over. And then I think in terms of when I went at school to the gym, it was more, I think we were like, me and my friends, we were like, oh, should we just join? Like, we didn't really know what it was. And obviously we went to like a leisure centre one. So not many gyms can be under 16, but certain leisure centres
where I started out as well.
Specific. Yeah.
We were only allowed in between like 3:30 and 5 o'clock or something, Monday to Friday.
It would be like really specific times.
Yeah. And then as soon as like it hit like 5 o'clock, one of the PTs would come in and do like a whip round of getting everyone out. Just like, gutted.
Yeah, it's mad to think like what I remember doing some legs, but I remember doing all sorts.
So you actually went in and started lifting weights?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Like on the machines, I wouldn't do like free weight. I didn't do any free weight stuff. Obviously, maybe the medicine ball with some core stuff, but I didn't do any free weights. I just did a lot of the machines. I think because it was just in the induction, and I was just like, oh, I use this as a basis. But yeah, how good my form was then. I'd have loved to have taken videos, but obviously Instagram didn't exist. Like,
camera phones were like 2 megapixel cameras as well.
Yeah, and like a brick phone, like so chunky.
A Sony Ericsson phone.
Yeah, it wouldn't quite be the same now.
Not quite.
And then obviously, going into the gym, like from when I was at uni, I started filming myself. I then started noticing form, then started chatting, realizing what was good, what wasn't. But yeah, no, so it's not really, I think it just came from me and my friends wanting to join the gym. I don't think it came from necessarily a sport background, which I suppose, I don't know whether you came from like that sort of thing. Like, what was the...
With me, I've played sports pretty much since the age of 7. I started playing football for a team.
Yeah.
And then throughout like school, I played cricket, did taekwondo, athletics, swimming.
So cool.
Did rowing. Went back to play football, and I joined the gym at, how old was I? 15, I think it was, year 10. I think this year I've been going to the gym for like 10 years. But yeah, for me, it was because I was dead skinny, which quite a few people find a bit shocking, but I used to be really, really skinny. We used to have like a few little bits of weights at home. Like we still have the weights, actually. It makes me laugh. We've got these 3-kilo dumbbells, and we had a pull-up bar, the ones that you hook onto a wall. On the door frame.
On the door.
Yeah, so my workout used to be like a few sets of press-ups, a load of bicep curls, about 10 sets of pull-ups, and then like loads of abs. But like, there's only so far. I know you'd always
train abs so much.
There's only so far.
Now there is so much wider than that.
And then like, we went on holiday in the October to Spain, and there's a photo of me around the pool, and I was like, Mum, I want to join the gym.
Oh, I love that.
Pretty much straight away, I think I put on about a stone in a month. It was ridiculous. I ate so much food and went to the gym. Like, basically, I'd get home from school and I'd be bored waiting around for my mates to come out. Like, they'd just take forever. They'd sit around, play an Xbox or whatever, and then come out later on. So I didn't play games or anything like that. So I'd just be sat there waiting. So I'd finish school, walk straight down to the gym after obviously be out by 5 o'clock. And then by the time I was home, got changed, had something to eat, they'd be ready to go out and play. So basically Monday to Friday, that was my day, like every single day.
I love that. Yeah, I know, by the time you've like got back, so it takes so like I used to always walk everywhere, and obviously that is now a drive, but it's so long. And then, like you say, so active in the evenings as well.
Yeah. And then basically about 6 months later, I started rowing in the back end of high school, and then I had to stop going to the gym pretty much. I only used to be able to go once a week at one point because I was training 9 times a week rowing.
Yeah. Mad.
So it'd be like twice on a Saturday, twice on a Sunday, and then basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I was meant to have a day off Friday, but I'd end up in the gym anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then went back to playing football once I started working again and smashing the gym at the same time.
Yeah, it feels so nice now, like working on like obviously different kind of goals. Your mindset's so different, and like life is so different now to when I first sort of joined. Even from uni, like obviously my body's changed so much, my strength has got so much, like I have so much more strength. And yeah, it's really, really interesting. I think that's what's amazing, like when you film bits and pieces of workouts and form things, and then looking back you're like, whoa, what was I doing?
Well, yeah, now like I don't really train for performance or anything like that anymore. I haven't for a while, to be quite honest. Mainly due to trying to get different content for Instagram over the years. I've sort of kept like, you know, like your usual bench, overhead press, things like that in my workouts, and then I just add other whatever I feel like on the day. I'll just be like, oh, I'll do this today.
I know. Yeah, I kind of have in mind a split, and then I mean, my coach is a split currently, and then I'm like, oh, what can I do on this day? And then I fancy doing different exercises. So yeah, it's quite nice. And I find as well, you have, I don't know whether I feel like everyone's like, how do you know what to do at the gym? And it's like you end up having like a bank of all of this stuff, so that you know whether it's chest, legs, or lower 1, lower 2, whatever, however you split it, shoulders, arms, you know, in that like category you have all of these different things, which, and then you just can obviously and the choice is endless.
Well, like quite often I'll usually go in the gym knowing that I'm going to do like back and shoulders, and I'll just judge it on how I feel on the day. So if I'm feeling a bit tired, I'll probably do more sort of accessory work instead of big sort of heavy compound lifts. I just play it by ear basically, and I just go for the enjoyment. Like 100%. Sort of, I don't get stressed, to be honest. I'm probably one of the most laid back people going, but like just to, it just clears my head after like a day at work or whatever. Puts me in a good mood. But
100%.
Yeah, I like, my brother was saying to me the other day, he said, what do you do on the bench press? And I was like, oh, I don't know this. And he said, oh, I'm going to catch you soon. And I was like, yeah, but the thing is, like, you're specifically working to up your weight. I have not done it. Like, if I started doing that, then you'd be nowhere near me. It's just, it's like, it's the fact that I'm not actually training to that goal. And he keeps asking me, like,
I think so. That is just so important as well. Like, I'm really trying to get across to all my clients now. I can do one-to-ones. Is that it's about enjoying it. It's about feeling confident. It's about being there, just enjoying the workout, enjoying whatever cardio you choose to do. And obviously, I suppose both me and you have come from a quite a sporty, very different sports background. And we did that because we loved it. And then obviously that's led on to the gym, and we do that because we love it. And which is really important.
Yeah, that's it. The main thing at the end of the day is enjoyment. Like, people, like I've seen on Instagram and stuff, people talking about what's the best exercise to do for fat loss and stuff like that. And it's like, any of them, like literally any exercise. It's not to do with that. It's to do with your diet at the end of the day, whether you lose fat or not. Like
100%.
You could sit and do, like, quite often I will literally stick to a 3x10 like exercise, like reps and sets. Unless it's specifics.
I'm about the same.
I'm not that fussed on sort of messing around with my reps that much. Like, you can work to different goals if you drop them or increase them, but at the end of the day, what's going to govern you putting on weight or losing weight is going to be your diet. You don't have to change up your exercise split at all.
100%.
Like, you could do the exact same workout plan all year round. The only thing that's going to decide whether you put on weight or lose weight is how many calories that you put in your mouth.
100%. And I've learned so much about that, more so recently. Obviously, I worked with, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have done it, but or I wouldn't have joined the gym that I did. But I worked with obviously a coach last year and worked towards a photo shoot. I'm currently working towards a photo shoot now, but it's slightly different. And I learned so much about nutrition. I have like, it's mad, like, and people don't, and until I did it, I then now can explain it really well to people. But actually knowing what I know now, like about like the nutrition, like I was talking to someone this morning and it was like your training, like if someone asks you, oh, how are you sort of achieving this goal? And it's like my nutrition, I work for my daily goals, my calorie goals, macro goals, whatever, strictly. And I said, that's what gets me. I never talk about my training. I said, my training's consistent. Yes, I always aim to work my hardest every session and push as much as I can. But it's at the end of the day, it's my nutrition that comes down to it. You will always sort of, someone said in their story, which is a very brutal way of saying it, but you will always fail if you haven't got one or the other. Like you need both.
Yeah, 100%. Going back to it, was there anything that sort of worried you about going into the gym? Because obviously, how old would you have been? Like 14 going to the gym?
Yeah, 14, 15, yeah, 14.
Was there anything that sort of bothered you about going? Anything that you were worried about? Or was it just sort of, you were a young kid that wasn't really too bothered about anything and just went straight for it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had some, I'm not like out, I am a little bit, like there's some sort of confidence. I don't have too much, but in the sense, I think because of my performing and getting on stage, like you just got to do it. I think I was just kind of, okay, like let's do it. Obviously, there were always people, we stayed on the weight machines, or I did, me and my friends, or the cardio, and I'd go through about 5 different types of cardio in one session. Thinking now, I'm like, oh God, I'd never do that. And obviously there was a lot of people, there were guys that knew what they were doing, and you always are like, oh, I hope they don't sort of think, but I never really thought about that too much, or I tried not to. Because I think even in now, I always say this to clients coming in who are sort of really scared of the weight section, you always think people are looking at you, but really they're just in a daze because they've just finished however many, like a set, and they're just sort of trying to get their breath back. You know, you always have this worry, and I think it's very common for people to have that worry about other people, sort of what they think and what they do, and you always worry about what the PTs are thinking of you and whatnot. But actually, everyone's sort of there for not necessarily the same reason, but you know, there is a reason, like a baseline that everyone.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, everyone's been a first, like a newbie to the gym at some point. Yeah. It's just the fact that, like I was saying before, I've been going to the gym for nearly 10 years. You're not going to be anywhere near my level of sort of knowledge and understanding of going to the gym if you're just starting out and you're maybe 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's and what you said about people sort of staring at you in the gym, like quite often, it's just people in between a set just daydreaming, like waiting for that minute or minute and a half to, like I just sit there looking at my watch, waiting for the minute to tick over, and I'm just like, but like I know I do it myself. I look around the gym just because I'm bored, waiting for a set, and see if there's anyone in there that I know. It's not like I'm specifically like staring at someone going, what the hell are they doing? Unless they are doing something ridiculous, like.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I think, and I find now since I've started working in the gym, since they've been opened, that fine line is really difficult. And there are some newbies that have come in and who don't necessarily that experienced, understandably. No one is, like you say, everyone's got to be a newbie at some point in anything, whether it's a new job, like, you know, we've got to work up to knowing, having experience, blah blah blah. But and there is that fine line for where do you go when it's dangerous, especially from a PT point of view. Obviously, some, like, you don't want anyone injuring themselves, especially from point blank.
Yeah, I've seen some shocking stuff in the last 2 weeks. Really bad. And it's like, I'm not in a place where I can go over and say something to someone, or I don't feel like I am anyway. But
yeah, even I struggle with it. Like, if I thought something was that dangerous, I'd tell someone who's slightly a bit more experienced, or even one of my managers. I'm like, you know, it's going over and having that confidence to be like, and not patronizing as well. I find being a female trainer as well, if I was to go up to a guy, like, they could seem that as really patronizing, because I mean, stereotypes definitely come into it as well, but like, you know, you don't want you don't want to be like, oh, sorry, it's fine, but I just want to explain this. And obviously, it's just knowledge is power. We learn, we grow.
Yeah.
My form's nowhere near what used to be to what it is now, and I find that, yeah,
it's a learning curve, and I think what we said before about recording yourself in the gym, even if you've not got an Instagram account, you don't need one. Just record yourself and look back at it.
yeah.
It's so helpful. But going back to some of the shocking things I've seen this week, someone was bicep curling in the squat rack the other day.
I think I saw your story actually.
Someone's unfollowed me on the back of that as well. I got a message off I'm not going to say who, but like someone sent me a DM on the back of the story saying, what's wrong with that? They're literally just exercising. I was like, well, it's like it's a bit of a ongoing meme and joke on like Instagram about people like curling in a squat rack. And then I can't remember what the reply after that was. It was like, there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, no, they're using a piece of equipment that isn't needed to do the exercise that they're doing. Like, they're taking a piece of equipment up where someone could be benching or squatting.
And also, benching and squatting are probably the two like main that my gym is really fortunate to have 6 racks, but like some places don't. They have 2 or 3, and therefore exactly. When it's at peak times, people want to get using it.
Exactly.
So no, I completely.
And then I went on their profile the other day to see if they if they were still following me. Because like when I sent the message, they just left it unread. I was like, they've definitely unfollowed. I went on and they unfollowed. But I'm not too bothered if a snowflake wants to.
No, and I think it's important to get things across. Like I find it's always difficult. You're always so worried about what other people think about like opinions. Like it's so
many snowflakes on Instagram these days.
Yeah, and especially like with the gym and PTs, and especially safety, and we want to get across in the best way possible we can. And if someone disagrees with that, it's like the form police. I don't know whether you follow.
I've seen them. Yeah, I'm so scared of ending up on there at times.
Yeah, obviously, but they're saying it how it is, and they're saying it because they want people to get the best form possible, which is what obviously everyone.
Well, some of the videos are ridiculous as well, aren't they?
I know the leg press ones. I'm always scared to look at them.
Oh, when the knees hyperextend.
Whenever I'm always like, do not lock out your knees.
Yeah, it's minging
on the leg press. It's the biggest thing. But yeah, and also like slightly. We digress, but like going back again to having that confidence. Like since I rejoined. Just go to the weights area, like be that, like who cares, like yes, okay, a lot of the time, especially in the evenings, you will get a more male dominant area, but show for the, like, come on, like work it, like you're doing the same exercises, no one cares. And actually I think, and it makes you feel good as well, like I find, and anyone and everyone can be in that area. It is not.
To be fair, in our gym, it's there's actually quite a lot of women that go into the fitness. I love that. And I was like it's been quite good to see, to be fair, because like you say, like quite often it is a very male-dominated section of the gym. But I think Instagram's helping with that now, because obviously a lot of girls are seeing other girls lifting weights.
Yeah,
thinking I can do that too, sort of thing. And
100%.
Yeah, it is good to see. But what are your short and long-term goals at the moment then?
How short and how long are we talking?
Short term, I don't know, say 3 months.
Okay.
Long term, anything after that.
Okay. Anything above.
Yeah.
So obviously, short term goals. Obviously, I'm cutting again this year. I like to tread down a little bit for summer, more for confidence. I like to see what my body can sort of look like. Last year I did a cut and I had no clue.
You got in really good shape, actually.
I have, obviously that was the picture I gave you.
Yeah.
Going into that, I've said this to everyone, I did not plan to look like that. I didn't know what I'd look like. Obviously I knew, women typically it is, we hold more weight sort of lower on our hips, obviously for like children, and that is great. And I've never seen more than my top 2 abs and my like sort of oblique lines, but and I didn't know what I was going to look like at all, and it really shocked me coming out. Everyone's like, "Oh, you knew you were going." I said I had no idea, and that I really pushed myself for. So, at my starting point last year, looking in terms of this year for like sort of this goal, is very, very different. So I wanted to push and see what I can do this year to really have a difference. So yeah, that's obviously I'm working towards a shoot. I've got 7 weeks to go, well, 6 weeks on Friday, so just under 7 weeks. But yeah, so that is going to be interesting. Again, I don't know what's going to become on the back of it. I am slowly getting leaner, which feels lovely.
Like, you put a photo up before, didn't you, on your story? Are you further along the line this year at the same point as last year? Because I was going to say, you are quite lean already, aren't you?
Yeah, so last year I did 12 weeks, and obviously I was holding a lot more weight on my my bum and my hips. And this year, where my shape changed throughout last year during that cut, it's a similar shape to my ending, but obviously I just filled out slightly more, but in a completely different shape. Yep. I don't know whether that made any sense. But yeah, so I've now dropped much quicker, and obviously we're doing a slightly different food protocol with my coach. I would always recommend to anyone, if you're sort of looking to work towards a shoot, competing, whatever it is, you know, always, like, even like I'm a PT, but a coach needs a coach, you know, you always need that. And I like to have that consistency. Yes, I could trim down without my coach and give myself my own macros and still look good and still, but because I want to just push it a little bit further and really have that accountability every week, weigh in photos, and sort of have that guidance in training, he gives me my split, then yeah, it's a lot to work towards. So yeah, we're just working at that, really, sort of pushing each day with food, sort of staying on top of it. But
so
yeah.
Where did the want for doing that come from? And is there any sort of interest in sort of stepping on stage with it, or is it just purely to see like a personal thing for you to do each year?
It was well, thinking back to last year, so when COVID hit, I knew my coach from a previous gym, a pure gym that he used to work at, and he said, I'm doing lockdown like classes for free, just to keep, obviously it was the first lockdown, no one knew what was going on, so I just did every week, or every day, even at 3 p.m. we did these workouts. I was in here. This has been my home for like a whole year now, which feels great. And we ended up, long story short, making a whole new group of friends. And then we ended up training like on the fields together when we could, outside. And a couple of them were being coached by him. And obviously I've always known his work is incredible. Like, his transformations are something else. And I've always been like, wow, I wonder what it would look like, what I would look like, what my transformation would be. And then because they were talking about it, talking about their nutrition, talking about their training, talking about wanting to work towards a shoot, I then was like, oh, do you know what? Like, let's give it a go. And he did an offer in June. So I sort of said, oh, sod it. Let's sign me up. So I gave him my money. I was like, take it. And then just worked towards it. Didn't really know what was happening. Didn't have a shoot, anything of that in mind. I just thought, right, let's start this. And then after a month, I saw my changes from those first pictures, and I went, let's book a shoot. Like, let's do it. Let's see where we can go. And that was where it stemmed from, really. Like, I never had any of it in plan. And he used to be the general manager of the gym that I'm now working for. So again, if that hadn't, if lockdown had happened, I wouldn't have done the classes, I wouldn't have done the shoot, and so on. We love the butterfly effect. But yes, so that was how I sort of got into getting a coach, and now obviously sort of back with him, which is so nice.
Nice.
we're done. But so no, it's really good. Long term, I don't know. I mean, again, sort of slightly going back, like, I'd never say no to competing. However, I'm not, it's pushing it that little bit further. The shoot is working towards one thing.
Yeah, you've got to start taking in like your health and stuff like that, and hormone regulation.
And it becomes a full-time thing. You then, obviously, most of the girls on that stage lose their periods. The guys their sex drive gets, like, there are a lot of negatives. Yes, there are a shit ton of positives, and my girls that I'm so close with, I absolutely admire them. I think it's incredible. But me personally, because I work so much towards enjoying, like, I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
But again, never say never, but that is my current view on, like, whether I'd ever compete. And that's why I quite like the shoots as well. Like, yeah, okay, we're pushing it, but we're not going that extra bit further. And I know you like James Smith a lot, PT, and I will never forget him saying, like, why do we look up to these people who get on stage when their bodies practically stop working? And we admire that as the fitness industry. That is what a lot of the fitness industry looks up to. And actually, it's really interesting to question on the backside of that.
Yeah, it's basically controlled anorexia, like towards the back end, isn't it? Like, it's that level of body fat, but obviously it's like purposely done to an extent, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And
100%, yeah.
For me, I got asked by someone if I'd do it, and I did consider it for a while. And then I thought, one, it's a sport that is purely opinion based. So it's at the end of the day, there's no yes or no, right or wrong answer. And I come from a maths background as well, especially being like an accountant with work. I did maths and further maths at college and science as well. So it's either yes or no with me.
Smart.
Whereas like when you're competing, it's down to whoever's on the judging panel's opinion as to who wins.
Yeah. That's a really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, so there's no right or wrong, it's purely on someone's opinion. And then you see it when like Mr. Olympia happens and someone wins, and then someone's like, no, this guy was so much better shape, and it's all completely opinionated. Not only that, it's the sacrifice for 6 to 9 months of the year to step on stage for 30 seconds to a minute. You're gonna, like, you've got birthdays, you've got weekends, holidays, all of those have got to sort of be put on hold, or you can still go to them, but you can't sort of, not saying enjoy it as much, you can still enjoy it, but you're not going to be able to go, like, if one of the lads says, oh, do you want to come for a pint at the pub? Can't. I'll have a water.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I've found,
sorry, I play football as well, and like, big thing about the football team is after it we go back to the club and have a drink together, and it's like the whole sort of social side of things as well. And for me, it's just not worth it to give all that up for, like I say, an opinionated sport that is going to last maybe a minute.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. I think as well, like when I'm cutting, I mean, I made a post about it last night. I choose not to drink. I could drink, yes, of course I could, but I prefer to eat my calories.
Yeah, I saw that
than drink them. And I do say no to the cake, to the biscuit. Okay, yes, I can have all that. I can have my treats. I have my chocolate. I still eat all of those things. But obviously I have to restrict myself, and I choose to because I want the best results possible. Mm-hmm. However, I could not sustain it all year round. Oh my goodness me. Like, I love a drink. I love my food. I love getting pizza. I love, like, do you know what I mean? I love all that. And, you know, to gain that extra few kilos for that, you know, I'm fine with that. And I love my body when I'm shredded, shall we say. And I also love my body when I'm not, when I'm enjoying just a little bit more food and just feeling a bit more relaxed. Like, it's sort of, you've got to take that in consideration. Obviously, when competing, it's a whole year round thing.
Yeah, and for me, it's just not quite worth it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm the same. But yeah, long term, currently I'm obviously focusing on my business. So I guess for me, it would be sort of gaining more knowledge from clients, working with so many more different people, seeing how my classes progress. And sort of it would be more of like a business fitness goal, rather than necessarily my training and nutrition. Obviously, long term, I'd love to see where my body can go, but my daily goal is to always obviously train consistently. I don't train every day. I train 5 times a week, but, you know, keeping that consistency and sort of just building more knowledge and understanding of training, nutrition, and just sort of seeing where my body can be, or where I will be, what I will look like, what my business will look like long term. So.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
I think.
Lovely.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that we've missed along your sort of journey.
I know, it's difficult.
We're pretty
There's
present
so many...
day now, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, transitioning through sort of uni since I sort of really fell in love with it, it was, my training just became more and more intense. And sort of, I pushed myself that little bit further. I think before I'd just play it safe, I sort of knew what was what. Whereas then when I actually started understanding training, like properly weightlifting, I then was like, oh, actually, it can make a big impact. But yeah, I just enjoy it really.
And I think that's the main takeaway from this podcast, is that find something that you enjoy. There's so many different things that you can do in the gym. It doesn't just have to be weightlifting. It can be circuits, CrossFit, powerlifting.
Functional.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do. And I think it's just finding what you enjoy and sticking to it for a reasonable period of time, and you will actually see some changes. Whether it's just mentally, it doesn't just always have to be physically.
100%.
But yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want. Yeah, no.
Don't want to dilute all the stuff that we've been talking about previously.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I feel like we could talk for ages.
Yeah,
but yeah, exactly. No, 100%. It's been so nice, and thank you for sort of letting me open up a little bit and sort of explain a little bit more in so much depth. And obviously, it's really interesting to sort of hear your views on the backside of things as well, and how you sort of became into it. I think it's, like you say, people have got to remember, like, going into the gym, obviously everyone's a newbie at some point. You know, it's about, you're in there for a reason. Just enjoy it, do what you can, ask questions, like ask people around, like everyone, DM, like, do you know what I mean? If and that's how we all learn and grow, which is obviously the most important thing.
Yeah, I said on a previous podcast the other day, quite a lot of gyms these days as well have sort of floor plans on their websites, and quite a lot of them obviously have Instagrams now, so you can even have a look around the gym without actually physically going to it, because you can just look through people's Instagram content. And even if you do start the gym, most gyms will offer a free induction, so that is a good way to, one, walk around with someone who knows what they're on about, and two, actually see where all the equipment is before having to sort of walk into a gym and have a look around. Because I did that the other day, actually, when I went to the other JD gym near ours. Like, obviously it's a new gym. I'm not that fazed by it, because I'll just walk around and find something. But obviously that's a new gym for me, and trying to find where stuff is it wasn't necessarily daunting, but I'm just sort of stood there at one point just like, where's that machine?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And it's literally just about finding like having that being comfortable. And like, it is so, I remember when I first joined back in the gym, when I started uni, and I didn't know where anything was, and you know, you just want to feel a bit more confident, and someone just showing you around then makes you feel like you're comfortable again. So yeah, no, it's really worth doing.
Yeah, even I got on the wrong machine the other day, actually. I was filming a YouTube video in that gym, the big one, and they had these two machines next to each other that looked very similar, and basically all I wanted was a plated shoulder press. And what I ended up getting on was basically a hybrid of an incline press and a shoulder press at the same time. It was weird. And then I realized the machine I wanted to go on was right next to me, but then someone had sat down on it, and I was just like, right. I was doing back and shoulders, and I was just like, right, I can hit a bit of front delt if I change the grip on it. But it's like, even if you're just starting out, don't be sort of too keen on getting a split going. Just go in there and sit on a few machines.
Try different.
Figure out where they all are. You don't have to go in and be on like a crazy workout split to begin with if you're just starting out.
Exactly. 100%, and that is exactly what I've been telling people sort of coming on tours in the gym and sort of wanting to know. And it's like, just get yourself familiar with the place first. And also, some people are still jumping into it brand new, because obviously lockdown, they've only just reopened. So, you know, just try a few different things, just go twice a week even, you know, get used to that. Then, you know, then you start working on different things, and 100%.
Okay, I think we will wrap that one up here. Thank you.
Lovely. Well, thank you very, very much.
And if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.
Love it. Thank you very much.